Today I'm going to show you how I do my quick makeup routine. Okay, so first I take my eyebrow pencil, and I'm not going to talk about the type of product, well, the brand name of the product so much, because this is supposed to be a quick makeup routine, and basically I would advise you to use products that you are comfortable with. I'm not going to get into the name brand of things just yet, maybe in another video, and I'm no expert, so basically this is how I do my makeup. But first I want to outline my actual natural eyebrows and fill them in. I have quite naturally thick eyebrows, but I still like to fill them in a little bit. And what you want to do is go under and trace your actual natural eyebrows. You don't want to add too much more. Go over the top. And don't worry about being so neat, because we're going to clean these up. You want to make sure both sides are kind of even. And as dark, make sure both sides are as dark as each other, rather. You don't want to have one side lighter than the other. Now pay no mind to what's going on as far as the mess that's around them, because we're going to clean them up, but go in and blend them out. You want to smooth them out so they look as natural as possible. You're going to try to get them as close to each other as possible as well. They're going to take a Q-tip with some witch hazel or some alcohol, kind of clean them up a bit, get that excess that we blended outside the lines, go under and over, kind of reshape them. Basically just cleaning up at this point right now. Now you always want to start with the eyes. Go ahead and do the eyes first. I do come back at the end and do my eyeliner though. And the eyebrows, for me, are usually the hardest part. The eyes. Now I'm going to take my concealer and clean those up a bit. Concealer usually gives you like a fresh wax look, like freshly done eyebrows. And it can conceal any excess hair you might have as well that may be growing out. And it can help you get your eyebrows as identical as possible to each other. Basically, your face is your canvas, and you can alter it and do what you want with makeup. Let me see how I take that concealer over the eyebrow and also keep my arch going. I'm using my natural arch. However, I am emphasizing it. Then I want to go ahead and do the base for my eyes because I'm going to wear eyeshadow. And the concealer helps as a base. Beauty blender, wet it a little bit. And the beauty blender is just gonna melt things into play. And sometimes I like to take my finger and rub it in so I don't end up messing up my eyebrows. Blend in that excess and then go in with the beauty blender. Now, keep in mind that whatever you mess up, you can always go back and clean up. Like I'm gonna go back and clean up that eyebrow that has concealer on it now. I took that same Q-tip that already has witch hazel on it and just clean it up. Okay, so at this point, I'm gonna go in with my Becca Ever Matte Poreless Primer. And I'm actually naming this product because somebody out there might have oily skin like mine. And I found that a lot of products don't work for me, but this Becca works really, really well. It keeps me matted all day. And my oil does not bleed through my makeup. So you're gonna rub that in really well. You want to get it all over your face. I'm oily everywhere, so yes, I put it everywhere. Now while that's drying, I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyes. Go ahead and put my eyeshadow on. And I am using my Morphe, which is actually a bronzer, but I like the color of it, so I'm going to use it for my eyes. I'm trying to get as close to natural as possible. You're going to pat that on there. And do the other one. I'm really, really messy when it comes to doing this. However, I like to clean up afterwards. Some people clean up as they go. I'm just not one of those people. When it comes to makeup anyway. Then I'm gonna go ahead and blend that out. I'm gonna blend it higher, closer to my eyebrows. All around my eyelid. Then I'm going to go in and do the same thing with the other side. And I noticed that some of the concealer isn't blended well, so I'm going back and fixing that right now so I don't get in the eyeshadow. Continue to blend. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my Fenty in the color 420, and once again, I'm not gonna name all products, but I'm gonna name products that I found really useful that actually work for me. And I'm gonna apply it all over my face. You don't need to apply too much. Like they say, a little goes a long way, but I have a big head and a big face, so I use a little bit more than the average few drops that everybody else uses. Then I take my brush and I blend it out well. I paint the canvas and go all around. I don't really like to go all the way into my hairline. I like to kind of blend into my hairline in the end, because you don't want to walk around with makeup in your hair. Get the chin, the neck, blend the excess down to the neck and the chin. You can also use a beauty blender for this part. However, I like to use the brush and then go in with the beauty blender last. Be sure to get your mustache area. You know, some of us have a really strong shadow. Even though you might not have a mustache, you might have a shadow. So I like to go back over that, definitely. And I'm gonna go in and take my concealer and get under eyes. This conceals your under eye bags if you have them. And also kind of highlights that area. Then I like to go in on the nose, hit that mustache area again. Not necessarily speaking of mustache, but like I said, shadows again. And highlight that forehead. And take that beauty blender, wet it, and go in. Now wetting the beauty blender just helps everything melt into place better. Don't leave it wet, just squeeze it out. Wet it, squeeze it out a little bit. You just want to have it a little damp and go in and blend it out. You see how that melts into your face when the beauty blender is wet? Over the face. And you can wet that beauty blender as much as you want or as much as you need to, and go ahead and blend out the rest of the makeup. And it's best to keep a lot of beauty blenders on hand, which I am in need of purchasing more at this point. It's time. So basically we're just blending right now. Just blend it all out. So now I'm going to take my Hard Candy Bake and Brighten set, and I'm going to go under the eyes and pretty much all over my face because like I said, I'm oily and I like to kind of set the makeup really, really well. This is going to smooth out any lines. You want to let it bake into the makeup for a little bit. And while that's baking, I am going to go ahead and do my eyeliner. This is another difficult part, but what you don't want to do is go past your eyebrows. And I have a pretty huge eyelid, so I have more of a canvas to work with. I like to start at the ends and bring it towards the center. And you see how the ends line up with my eyebrows. And I'm not a false eyelash girl, so this really emphasizes my eyes. I don't like using fake eyelashes. But when I use liner, it kind of gives the illusion that you have eyelashes. Well, not that you have eyelashes on, but that your eyelashes are like longer than they are. I love eyeliner. And once again, if you mess up, you can always go back with a Q-tip. And as far as the eyeliner goes, I like to go in with a dry Q-tip for this. Once the liner is dry though. You don't want to mess with it if it's still wet. But you can go and clean it up with a Q-tip as soon as it dries. But sometimes you may also need to go back and blend out that eyeshadow if you messed that up. Remember, everything can be fixed. You don't have to start over if you mess something up. You don't have to go over and wipe everything off and start over. No, just clean it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my mascara. One of my favorite mascaras that I'm kind of using right now, which is almost out, is Bonjour Big by Lancome. And it's usually really, really thick. I love it, but I'm kind of out right now. So I'm using, as you will notice, 2 types of mascara at this time. But usually with the Lancome's Bonjour Big, I only need to use that one. But since I'm out, I'm using 2. And I like to kind of go up on them. And then once again, you can retouch the liner if you need to. Basically, I'm gonna go out and blend the rest of that setting powder. And I noticed my eyebrows had some on it, so I took that Q-tip once again and cleaned it up. Now continue to blend it out. Get off that excess. Now I'm going in with my setting spray. Let that dry out. And sometimes I like to fan to help it dry faster. Or you might want to go in and use a beauty blender or a cotton pad to take off the excess. Okay, now I'm gonna take some highlighter, just a little bit. And I like to hit the natural areas of my face that the light usually hits. A little bit on the nose. And I like to go in, take that excess setting spray off, and I like to go in with the beauty blender and blend out that highlighter as well, especially if you've used too much. It kind of brings everything together for me. Some people don't usually blend that out. They like to just use the brush and have it popping, but I like to blend it because I want a more natural look. Hit the above the lip area. Okay, now I'm gonna take a cotton pad with some witch hazel on it, and I'm gonna clean the excess makeup off of my lips. Dry them out. Then I'm gonna go in with the highlighter again, and I like to put a little bit in the corner of my eyes to kind of make my eyes pop. And once again, this is just how I do mine. Someone else might be different. This is how I do mine. And I clean it up with Q-tip. Clean up that eyeliner some more. Once again, go in with that setting spray. Take off the excess. And you will find that I don't go into my hairline because I usually wear my hair down and I don't want makeup all in my hair. Then I'm gonna take my Bed Bath & Beyond lip gloss and go over my lips. And that's it. That's all I do. This is my routine. And as you can see, this is what it looks like with my hair down. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you got any tips, leave them down below.